Welcome back to 2DGe for another beer review. This is another one from our westward swing. What do we got today?
We have Sculpin from Ballast Point Brewing Company out in California.
Diego, I believe, right? San Diego, I think it said.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think it is.
We'll go with it. Yeah, that's fine.
Another great beer, I hope.
Yes, great reviews on it. The grapefruit version of it is more widely known, but Sculpin by itself is still supposed to be great. So, ready?
Yeah.
Cool.
So we're gonna bust this open. All right, we're gonna try to not block your pour here.
Oh, you can, because it's.
I said to chair it, man. All right.
Chaired.
You chaired it. All right. Well, it's definitely nice and clear.
Highly carbonated.
I can't tell. There's a little bit of cloudiness, or if it's just the
chilies.
Yeah, it's clear as a bell.
Yeah. Nice orange to golden orange color. Poured with about what, finger and a half.
Yeah, definitely a head. You can see already it's got good lacing, and just because I do this, the bubbles are rather small. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I tend to notice that it tends to tell me right away if it's going to be a good head on there or not. But all right,
smell.
Let's smell it.
It's a lot more tame than I thought it was going to be.
I agree, but it is a good smell. It's
a lot of citrus. I'm getting a lot of grapefruit in this one.
Yeah.
Pine.
Yep, definitely pine.
Maybe some like orange peel in there as well. Definitely getting some lemon in there. It's good. Like I said, though, a lot tamer than I was expecting.
Mm-hmm. No, I would say the grapefruit and the pine stand out the most to me.
Yeah, I get the lemon and then also the orange peel in there as well, though. I'm not going to say carbonation has a smell, but if it did, that's what I'm getting from this as well.
Okay, well, if we want to go down that road,
I'm going to edit that out.
There's a, and this isn't bad, it's just what I equate it to. There's that almost off tomato in my head where you start getting like a tomato that's starting to turn.
Like a green tomato, so
well, no, it's overripe. It's starting to turn a little bit, and I know what that flavor tastes like. I don't like it, but the smell isn't, you know, I just equate it, and it's not anything bad.
Alright, let's taste it. Right at the front, a lot of bitterness. Towards the middle of the palate, you get a lot of these citrus fruit. I do get a slight bit of tangerine in there as well. But mostly I'm getting the grapefruit, the lemon, the orange zest. It's a real dry beer on the back end. The flavor really doesn't carry all the way through, though. I'm not getting much on the back end other than the bitterness, and then just incredibly dry. High carbonation in the mouth, so that really accentuates the bitterness for me.
I'll agree that it is dry on the back for a change. I will agree with that. But it's got a good malt presence, and on the back I pick up some malt and bitterness still. But it's pretty balanced front to rear.
I'd say for a West Coast IPA, which this one is essentially very tailored to the style, it is a lot more balanced than I thought it was going to be. Or it's like if you get like a Stone IPA or something like that, it does have the balance, but the hops are definitely more forward than on this one.
This is actually really smooth, and it's light and refreshing. It's got a fair amount of bitterness, though. There is some bitterness.
It's the ABV on this, because like you said, it is pretty refreshing. It's 7% though, so it does actually a pretty good job for me. of.
I'm sure that's where that dryness is coming. But
well, again, referring to Stone, I expected it for being 7% now to be maybe a little more coat your mouth as far as the malt goes. But like you said, yeah, real crisp. What are you going to give it for the style, which is an IPA? You can even subclassify that to a West Coast style, but
I'll give it for the style. Actually, I'm going to give it a 7.5. I think it's really good. It's really drinkable, but it's not over the top in your face with hops and stuff like that. I mean, it's there. The bitterness is there, but it's not. It's not a bad beer. It's a really good beer.
So I'm gonna go with a 7. It is really well balanced. The hops aren't as prevalent as I want. It is really crisp, which is actually kind of surprising. Great carbonation, great flavor, great balance. Decent nose on it. It's not entirely what I was expecting, which is not necessarily a bad thing, and I'm actually liking it more the more that I drink it. But yeah, for me, it's a 7. I'm not going to say there was a ton of hype with this one because the one that gets most of the hype is the grapefruit version, which I think actually, from tasting this, putting the grapefruit juice in there would make it a lot better.
Yeah, that'd be a great beer.
What are you going to do for overall?
Overall, I'll put this in my 8 category. Because overall, it's something I could drink every day and not feel like I'm getting loaded down. You know, I mean, you could come home from work, from doing yard work or out, you know, whatever. Pop this open, be really refreshed, feel good about the rest of the day. You know, you won't have to go to sleep for a while on the couch or anything. It's I'd say overall as a drinker and an enjoyable beer, I'll give it an 8.
So I'm gonna stick with a 7. I'm gonna go 7 across the board. It's good. I would go out of my way slightly for this. There are others though that if they're sitting on the shelf, I'm definitely going to pick that over this. It's a 7 also because again we can't get it in Indiana. I don't know how far or wide their distribution is, but I know it's not here. Where'd you get this? You said in Colorado, correct?
Yeah, we actually shout out to Apple Jacks. What a fantastic store. They had so much there. Great place.
Yeah, 7 for me. The flavor, though, I will say, now that it hasn't been that long since it's been warming up, but I'm getting a ton more grapefruit in this.
It's starting to taste more, too. But, you know, like we were saying, this may not be your go-to if you're in the store and there's other stuff that's, you know, but this is a great backup beer. I mean, to have your fridge stocked with some of this, so when you're, you know,
I'd be happy.
You're not in the mood for this big giant beer, or you just don't have any more. What a great fallback this would be, and I don't mean that in a bad way at all.
Yeah, it's.
This is a
it's
really
nice
good
to have
beer.
this as your second string if it is going to be second string, but no, very solid beer.
Yeah, definitely.
2DGe.